Okay, so tonight, I forgot it does that. We are going to be talking about how to handle objections. So, first and foremost, if you have not heard the word no yet, then you probably haven't sent any invites. So, that is what we're talking about here. Objections, rejections, excuses, reasons people give for why they can't join, they don't want to join, etc. Those are objections. That's what we're talking about tonight. So if you've ever gotten, a no or a short reply or a long reply or a rude answer or any of that kind of stuff, first of all, way to go, because that means that you are working your business. That means that you are inviting, and those are the things that we need to be doing. So it's completely normal to hear objections and to hear no. So don't feel bad about that. Like, give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing the right stuff. So let's see. Before we even talk about this, I have a few notes if I'm kind of stuttering because I haven't reviewed this for a while. I did do this call a few times. If you are not reading or listening to personal development, you are not going to last in this business, period. So that sounds harsh maybe, but this whole call is literally why we read personal development, so that we are strong enough to hear those rejections and to hear those no's and to move on and not take it personally. It takes some practice, and the only way to practice is to send those invites and to hear the no's and to just keep doing it, because pretty soon you just hear them, you move on, they eventually say yes, and you just don't take it personal. So please dive in to a book, to a podcast, to an audio, something that is going to fuel your mind, fuel your confidence, give you that encouragement to keep going on the days when it feels like everyone's saying no, because a lot of days feel like that too. You need your mind to be so firm in the belief of what we are offering, which we've been talking a lot about belief and confidence in our products, in our group, in our community, in our workouts. So the stronger that belief is for you, the easier that it's going to be to just let them go and to know with confidence that they need this and to not feel like it's a personal thing. And that way you don't waver when you hear that. So also, no doesn't usually mean never. It typically just means not right now. And that's how you can think of it in your head. It might mean no to that person, but I have just learned from experience that a lot of those people end up saying yes. Anymore, honestly, I make it a game for myself. Like, if they say, I'll never ever do that, or I've done Beachbody before and I hated it, or what's another one? I don't know. There's so many that I've heard, and guess what? They all sign up because I am just that amazing, you guys. No, they're inspired, and maybe they had maybe they did get burned by a bad coach, or maybe they just didn't have the right experience. Like, you don't know what they went through. So just prove them wrong and keep showing up, and eventually they will probably come back to you. So it doesn't mean that you did something wrong if you hear a no. It doesn't mean that, this job isn't working. It doesn't mean people hate you. So don't think those things. It's totally normal. And a lot of times people have to hear, this is just a side note, people have to hear like that invite or something, or hear it like, what is that? Like 7 touch points? Is it 7 or 9? I don't know, maybe a lot of people have heard that, but they have to hear it like so many times before they even really register like what you're asking them. So just every time, we're going to talk about that at the end, but just remember that you're planting a seed. So it's okay if they say no. Almost expect with confidence that they will say no like that first time. And if you are coming from a genuine heart, they will most likely still appreciate you. There are just a handful of people who are mean and rude, and you don't need them, right? Just move on from them. Most people are going to be really kind about it. And a lot of times they will keep watching you. Sometimes I won't have people watch my story that I invited. And then after I invite them and after they say no, then they start watching me. Then they start liking all my posts. And at that point, I know it's only a matter of time before they're going to join me, because now they're seeing like how much fun I'm having. They're seeing, you know, aspects of our group and how things are working and blah, blah, blah. And then they're really going to get intrigued and interested in what's happening. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. And I have a little PowerPoint for us. And this was from a long time ago. Handling objections with grace, positivity, and energy. When I first wrote this PowerPoint, I was like so on fire for hearing no. Like, it did not bother me. And I was so excited to share this. So I'm hoping that it will be kind of pump me up again right now. And yeah, so basically each of these slides, how I have it is just a reason, a response that I've gotten. And of course there's like so many more variations, but these are just some examples. And this is how I reply, and maybe not word for word every time, but you'll kind of get a general idea of what I'm talking about here. So if you're watching and you need to pause, you know, you could take pictures of these, or you can write them down, or just take some mental notes about kind of the common theme that goes on here. So the first objection that I have here is, thanks for thinking of me, but no thanks. And that one just like cracks me up anyway. I've probably said it myself, because it's like lots of thank yous, but that's not even like they're not even actually giving me a reason, you know, especially when my invite says, do you have a workout routine right now? You know, and then do you want information? They aren't giving me an actual answer. But I always reply with a question, and you're going to see that throughout all of these objections. I keep wanting to say excuses. They are excuses. But so this one, thanks for thinking of me, but no thanks. I reply with something along these lines. Of course, girl. I think I wrote girl a lot then. I don't say it as much now. Of course, girl, no worries. Do you already have a fitness routine that you love then? Or I actually got this response today, and I said, or this might be later. I'm getting ahead of myself. If they say it's not the right time, I'll see if I have that one on there. But always respond with a question and give them something that they have to answer back, because again, we want this to be like, this does not faze us that they said no. We're not selling Girl Scout cookies. You know, like, we're not going to be sad. We're going to be sad for them that they're deciding not to join. Like, think of it that way. So ask them a question. Why, you know, do you already have a fitness routine that you love then? And then they can say, yes, I do. And then you can find out more about what that is, because, or maybe they don't. And then you say, cool, like, do you want me to check back next month when our next group starts? Or do you want to try a free workout sample? Something like that. It keeps the conversation flowing. And then a lot of times it gives you information that you can use later on, especially if they keep watching you, right? So, and then if they do have fitness, say they go to CrossFit, or they, you know, have a gym membership, or whatever, they do something at home, or they run, then, you know, ask them, like, do you have help with your nutrition? Or that's not a good way to word it, but, you know, ask them something about nutrition, or ask them if they have a great pre-workout powder that they're liking, you know, or do they like want to try the like Energize and Recover. I can't think of my words. So there's always more. Like, we have more than just workouts, right? We always kind of focus on that. I do too, because that's sort of the easiest to sell that whole bundle. But we have so many products. But if you don't ask a question, and if you don't kind of dig deeper as to why they said no thanks, you will not know if there's another way that you can help them or not. And if they're still answering you back, then it's not annoying, because they can easily just ignore you and not answer back. So don't feel bad, and don't feel like you're being nosy. If you genuinely want to help them, then you're going to come across as genuinely wanting to help them. And because of this question, I have helped people to just have Shakeology or to just take the performance line or something like that. And those make great customers and great discount coaches. All right, the next one, I don't have time right now. I totally get it, Mama. I talk to mamas a lot. I feel swamped with kids and homeschool and work right now, but this group gives me so much life and joy. Would you want me to just check back next month when things calm down some, or another time when you're ready? And that's kind of a long one. I don't always send that long of a reply, but basically the same thing. I ended with a question. I also kind of related to her, right? And I get this one a lot, and it actually crushes my heart that these moms can't take 30 minutes for themselves. And I know I'm bad at it with like everything else, but I make sure I have 30 minutes for my workout. So relate to that. Relate, give them a little bit of your life. Brianna had like 100 kids at her house today, so nobody can give her the excuse that they have kids and they don't have time. And then share a benefit, and I said, this group just gives me so much life right now. And I'm not lying. It really does. A lot of days, like, that is my favorite part of the day, is logging my workout, checking into the group, like seeing other people's sweat and smiles. So relate to that, and then give that question back. Would you want me to just check back next month? Or depending on what time of the year it is, maybe it's like after Christmas or when school starts again or whatever. And sometimes they'll say, yes, please, sure. Then put their name in Asana. My computer's getting hot. And don't forget about them after that. All right, the next one. It's just not my thing. Don't you just love that one? Like, what does that even mean? Especially if they like don't even know what it is. It's like, ow. Sorry, my computer is super hot. I might have to do this. This is gonna be weird. Okay. That is kind of weird. Sorry. Okay, so I would reply with, that's okay. What part isn't appealing to you? Like the workouts or being in a group? Have you ever tried Beachbody programs before? So again, I'm asking some questions, and you can think of other questions than that, but those are going to give you very specific answers to it. Because a lot of times maybe they did try Beachbody before, and maybe it was like 10 years ago. So there was like P90X and nothing, Maybe they have no idea about Beachbody on Demand. Or I have had people who don't like the group aspect, and they like are really shy, or they just don't want to take the time. So they think that this whole invite is just for a group. And then if I find that out, then I can be like, you can totally do the workouts on your own whenever you want. You don't have to plug into the group. It's just there if you need it, So find out a few things about why it's not their thing, and don't let that be an excuse for them to just try to pass you by. The next one, I can't afford it. And I used to really struggle with this, and I used to empathize and sympathize like way too much and be like so sorry for people that they didn't have the money. Let me read this and then I'll keep talking about that. But so I typically reply with, I totally understand. I say, like, I have a lot of clients that ask for this as a birthday gift, or they use their tax refund, stimulus money, ask for Christmas, or I truly have even had people sell things, like nice old things from their house or something, so that they could sign up. Or even, oh yeah, I said that down below. And then ask, so don't just give that idea, be like, do you think you could do that? Or are you willing to do that or something? Or, give them the idea that, like, how much could you save back from each paycheck until you have that $160 for the challenge pack? And I have said these things, and it really just shows you, well, for one, that a lot of people have like money management problems. So that's one thing that maybe we can't teach them as much. But I think it shows, like, people don't even think of saving. Like there's such a scarcity mindset. They don't even have the idea. Like they're just thinking, you're asking me today, so it would have to be today, and I don't have the money in my account, right? So give them that idea. They could save up $20 every paycheck. Yes, that would take a long time, but if they like really wanted to do this, and if that was a real excuse that they couldn't afford it, but they really wanted to, they would find a way to make it work. So, but you have to kind of teach them in your replies, because a lot of people won't think that way, right? And if they just keep saying that, or they keep saying they're not ready, then, you know, they might just not be your people. Or maybe when they really are ready, like they will know and come back to you. So, but I guess what I want to end with that is just don't let money be an excuse for them and give them those ideas so that they like literally cannot let that be a reason. Okay, this one's fun. My husband won't let me, or my husband said no, or my husband thinks it's a scam, or whatever. Relate to them again. Don't just be like, whatever, that's, you know, you're just saying that, or that's dumb. Like, oh, man, I've been there, girl. Do not give up. Keep asking him. He'll come around eventually. Maybe you could ask for this as your Mother's Day gift or your birthday or whatever. Or you could ask her what makes him hesitate to let you sign up. I have had a few husbands that were like this, and I gave the women the idea. I said, let them watch the video with you, like our information video, or if it was about coaching, like tell them what it's about, or show them, you know, or try this workout together, because, you know, find out what's making him say that, or are they just using that as an excuse, or are they too scared to even ask him and they just think he'll say no because of the cost. So find that out, and then not only find it out, but then give them answers and give them ideas to help work around that. Okay, I already have a coach, or I am a coach. Sometimes we run across people that are already into Beachbody, or they were in the past. So I still don't just like completely write them off and unfollow them and never talk to them again. Like I do eventually, if they clearly are like still with their coach or their best friends or something. But I still ask them some questions. Oh, that's so awesome. I love Beachbody so much. It's the best, blah, blah, blah. What program are you doing? That's usually the top one that I'll start with. I usually don't say all three of those things. I'll say, what program are you doing, or who is your coach? Because the reasons are, usually you can ask when they join, maybe after a couple of those questions. But if they are actively doing the program, then, I mean, they're probably like active in their group or whatever. If they know their coach's name, again, then they're probably active with them, they're friends with them or something. And we're not here to just steal people, okay? But if they don't even know that they're, like, some people are unaware that they have a coach because they are a free customer and their coach never reached out to them. So if that's the case, then their coach isn't doing their job anyways, and I say, come to our group because I will check in with you and I will be your coach. Same with what program you're doing. I've asked that because sometimes people are not doing a program, and they say they've signed up, or they say they're in Beachbody, but maybe it's actually been a couple years and they're not actually active on BOD or anything. So then you can start finding out, are they signed up under anyone, or do they want to get re-signed up? If you don't ask this when they say they already had a coach, or they are a coach, or they've done Beachbody before, I might should rephrase that, but if you don't find out those answers, there's a lot of people that you could miss getting into your group, or even I've had a lot of people switch to me just because they know their coach, but they're not getting the support that they need, or they're not happy, like the group isn't being run, or for whatever reason. If they're not being taken care of, I fully believe it's okay to have them switch, because it's their choice 100% who their coach is. And if they're not helping them, then the coach is not doing their job. I get so angry about that when coaches aren't doing that. So, okay, moving on. I think this is the last one. So the bottom line is, if we know this is going to change their life, then we must speak with a voice of leadership and confidence, directing the conversation and showing them that we believe they can make it happen and instill the belief in themselves to take the next step. But I said, I'll just go ahead and read both of these. The point is to not allow them to make the excuse. Hand it right back to them with a positive solution, as if you didn't even hear them. Sometimes people have signed up in this cycle of conversation, and sometimes it just at least gives them something to think about, so that when they're ready, when they come back, they're ready. I just totally lost my train of thought again. But I love giving the question back to them, because, it does give them that like power, like it's still back in your hands. Or I've had people, especially this past week, I've had multiple people apologize that they can't sign up, or they don't want to, or they're not ready, or whatever. They're like, I'm so sorry. And like, again, like I said at the beginning, I'm not selling Girl Scout cookies here. Like, you're not hurting my feelings. And I've been saying this. I've been saying, no, I'm sorry that you don't get to sign up, because this is so amazing. And I know that it would help you with your goals, or, whatever. I've been more direct with that lately, and they don't usually reply. But I mean that 100%. I'm like, I'm here to help you. I'm not here just to get a sale and try to make some money. Like, obviously I'm doing that, but the reason I'm coaching is much deeper. All right, I'm gonna stop share, and I have just a couple more points. You see, I get all worked up on this topic. Again, all you need to focus on is the invite and planting that seed. And then just stay so positive, even if you're not feeling it, even if you're frustrated. I have days where I just totally fake being super positive and nice and like lots of exclamation points and smiley faces, and let them know, that kind of response lets them know that their response didn't hurt you, or, you're not taking it personal, and it's not going to affect you. Because in the end, again, they're going to come back. And you want them to know that it's them that you care about, and not just making a sale and then going away. So they will eventually see that if you stick with it. And I mean, this is how I get people to sign up all the time. I'm not saying get them to sign up, but they see that I'm genuine. They see that they can trust me. They see that after they said no, I actually still check up on them, and I still follow up with them every once in a while, because why are they still watching my stories? So all of that, like, it's a process, and it does take time and patience. And that mindset from the personal development helps so much. But at some point in their life, they will need this, and you want to be available and open and on good terms with them, so that when they are ready, you aren't harboring negative feelings from that. So I think I have a couple minutes left. I just wanted to quickly share one example. I've had this happen, had multiple things like this happen all the time, but this one, I just had my notes from a long time ago. But this particular person told me, I don't know, this was probably at least a couple years ago. I had invited her back and forth for even that whole year, right? And she, I forget, it was like all day conversation of like, here's our stuff, here's how much it costs, blah, blah, blah. She told me her goals. Like, we talked all day, and I was like, okay, she's definitely going to sign up. And then I don't know if it was that same day or if it was like a next day or two or something, but she just kind of rudely came back and just said, my friends are doing keto and it's free, and I'm just going to look on Google, and I don't need this or whatever. And I remember I was more of a new coach. And, when you pour out your whole day of talking to this person and you waste all this time, you get a little irritated. And I remember I was at my mom's and I was like raging about it and super mad. And I read it. She sent like this long message about this kind of bashing Beachbody, you know, and just like, you don't need this, you don't need to pay money, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I wanted to say so many things, okay? And this wasn't really an instance where I left another question because it was like we had been talking and talking. But I still left it at open-ended, and I said, I don't know what I said, honestly, but it was very nice. And it was like, if you ever, you know, want to come back, like, I'll be here, you know, something like that. And so, and then I never heard from her again. And I did stop checking in with her. Like, it was a pretty rough message. So I did stop. And like 2 or 3 months later, she messaged me out of the blue. And she's like, I'm ready to sign up. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought we weren't speaking. But she'd been watching, okay? And I left it on good terms, even if my heart needed some work to let that go. And then what has happened now? She's been a returning customer, a returning discount coach, and she knows now that this works, right? And she has seen that, she's proved it to herself. So, but that's just one example of that will happen. But had I have said nasty things because of how mad it actually made me, she probably wouldn't have done that, right? And it's like, it's not just losing a sale or losing a customer, but it's losing like that lifetime of person or all the people that she might have referred to me and helping her. And I truly wanted to help her, and I truly believed that what we had would work. And maybe that's what kind of gets us upset too, is that we know it, but people, they have to try the hard way sometimes before they're ready. So, all right. The final advice also, if they say no, but they're still watching your stories, or you still just really feel like they would fit in well, because like another example, this is my last thing, but another example is this lady on Instagram. Oh my word. She's so nice. And she comments on all of my stuff and she watches my story every day. And she told me she has her own workout thing, but I am like, why is she still asking me? And some people just get motivation from that. But I invited her again the other day, and I just said, I know you have your own thing, but I know you would love our community. You would be so, you know, like a positive light in there. Like, she would add to our group. And I said that, and she still said no. But it's okay. If you feel that with somebody, it might just take a few times. And it's fun now. It's fun for me to ask her and be like, how long is this going to take? Like, I bet she'll join us eventually. So have that good attitude, have that confidence in what we're doing and in the belief in the stuff. And then just don't worry about their response. Okay. Give them a question back, pry, find out why. And then, you know, like, maybe they aren't someone that you need to follow up with again ever, but maybe they are, and maybe it's going to take a year. But if you care about them and you're doing this with a genuine heart, then they're eventually going to see that and they will come to you. So, all right, that is all I have. Go get some no's. And all right.